Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this live stream daily huddle show. My name is Dimitri Jeremy. I'm in the pipe 5x5 here in Dubai. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Man, you know, Bitcoin pricing model will shock the hell out of you. This one I'm about to show you. Right? I'm going to show you some shocking pricing models. Right? And yeah, well, it's not what you think. But it's still interesting. So that's what's going to be talked about in today's show. Make sure that you watch all the way to the end. There's lots of information here for it to be had. And you know what? I don't know how many times I have to tell you, right? But I'm going to have to say this again because so many people come to me with the same thing over again. Because supercomputers, quantum computers can destroy Bitcoin. Can anybody in the comment section there that has more than a few brain cells and has watched the show, me explaining it multiple times, can they explain it? Can they give me an answer? Can quantum computers just hack Bitcoin? Yes or no? Just a yes or a one, right? If it can't, and a no, zero if you think that Bitcoin's doomed. So one if those quantum computers are useless, and zero, right? If you think it's over, man, quantum computer gonna destroy Bitcoin. Ooh, you can't hear me. Damn. Okay, sorry about that. There we go. There you go. There you go. Mike's here now. Okay, so only one person with enough brain cells. So let's go over that once again for the dumb, deaf, and retarded here. Let's see here. Bitcoin, safety, and quantum computers. There we go. Okay. So once again, right? Just because, you're just not, people are just like, okay, so we got 3 people with a few brain cells to rub together. That's good. I'm glad, right? Okay, so for those who lack a few brain cells, right? And let me just move this over a little bit. And, ooh, darn, I might cut off. I might have to raise this up. There we go. So, for those who have a few brain cells to share, right? Let's help you out, right? Since, we have ChatGPT that has more than a few neurons to fire. If I don't move my Bitcoin from an address and I do not share my public key with anyone, is my Bitcoin safe from a supercomputer or quantum computer? Short answer, please. Answer is yes. Right? So it'll only be possible after the public key has been exposed when you make a transaction, right? So after you've made a transaction, then it has a public key, but then it's going to have to be very fast at coming up with your private key, which they can't do that very fast, right? It takes a lot of computational power in order to pull that off, right? At an instant. Even today, the older encryptions would take your computer a few hours, right? An older computer, a few hours to come up with the private key, okay? An older encryption, right? So don't go there. Right? So, my Bitcoin address is not the public key, correct? It's a hash of a public key. No one knows my public key is, right? Yeah, correct. See, guys, people, there it is, man. There it is. Right? Once again, the lies of the mainstream media is like hammering it into your head. Boom, boom, hammering the people's head. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, quantum computer. Yeah, run away from Bitcoin. Run away from crypto. Quantum computer, quantum computer, quantum computer, quantum computer. Even Vitalik is like singing these noise, and I'm like, yeah, Vitalik, your Ethereum is very, very susceptible because your addresses are the public key. You jack. Beanstalk. Okay? You made the Jack Beanstalk decision. Alright? So, there it is. There it is. In black and white for you. Okay. Alright, guys. Now that rant is over, I'm going to Bitcoin Mina. And if you want to join me and get 10% off, and hey, you know what? If you do meet me, right, say hello. Maybe I'll give you some Bitcoin, right? Because I love giving away Bitcoin for free. So, you know what? If you do meet me at the Bitcoin Mina, if you ask me some small amount of Bitcoin, I will give you some. Yeah. So just make sure you use my coupon code. Links in the description below. It's just DaVinci, DAVINCI. Here, I could just actually type it in for you, right? Show you how it's done, right? And you can get 10% off. So if you buy this one and you go, like I'm going to show you, check out, and then if you know my name, right, you just type in all caps DAVINCI, apply, and there you go. You got 10% off, right? A nice, sweet discount for you. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Moving on. If you want to join my school, it's absolutely free to do. And you just sign up and watch some videos on how to secure your Bitcoin and how to earn wealth in Bitcoin. And you know Bitcoin's the money that you need to use and save for the long term. And that's what I'm all about. Okay. Michael Saylor says strategy can handle an 80 to 90% Bitcoin drop amid falling volatility. Yes. 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 Just okay for those people who are dumb, deaf, and retarded again, right? I'm gonna explain it again why Michael Saylor is not in trouble should Bitcoin drop to a specific price. You seem to all think that Michael Saylor has borrowed like a mortgage against his Bitcoin or against the Bitcoin that he's buying. That's or he's leveraging like on an exchange. He's got a leverage buy, full leverage buy. No, none of that's true. The only thing those debtors who actually give him the money, they just give him money. The only thing they're entitled to is his stock in strategy. That's it, right? And you're like, well, as a stockholder, I get the whole. Really? You get the Bitcoin as a stockholder, right? No, Jack. You are entitled to the assets based on liquidation, right? The CEO gets to decide what to do with those assets, not you. Okay? Got it? Good. All right. Just can't believe some of the people that's out there. And you know what? I'm going to raise this a little bit. Let's see if that works better. Yes, there we go. And I'm just going to lower it just a tad. There we go. There we go. Okay. Bitcoin ETF bleeds cash as Abu Dhabi doubles down. Yes, because you see, whilst they bought the highs, and it doesn't really matter, right? Doesn't matter, right? Because today's highs is going to be tomorrow's absolute lows that you'll be wishing you got Bitcoin at. Okay? So that's how they think. That's how wealthy people think. Whilst, the average person only looks at how much they've lost, right? in dollar terms when they're not planning to sell it in the next little while. So if you know how to handle volatility by just going, yeah, I'll buy some more. Yeah, I'll buy some more. Well, guess what? You're going to be rich. You're going to super rich one day, right? You're going to be joining me in Dubai saying, Da Vinci, it's because of you. Because of you, right? I did this and I'm here, right? That's the only way. That's the proper way to survive, to actually earn wealth in the crypto space. Now, if you want to do fast cash or something like that, go ahead. But most people are not going to do well in that. 10-year Bitcoin model proves buying BTC at 100K since time does the heavy lifting. Ooh. A new Bitcoin model shows long-term returns remain in 300% range regardless of investors' entry price. Will shift global liquidity and change the outcome this time? No. The power law model shows that Bitcoin generates a strong long-term return regardless of price, precise entry, and timing. Global liquidity sits far above prior cycle levels, supporting a more favorable microeconomic backdrop. Yes. Bitcoin currently trades at an unusually deep discount relative to its liquidity trends, far with its fair value nearing $170,000. This is beautiful, right? Why? Well, if the fair value is $170,000 and we're at $91,000, right? And they're going to continue to suppress the price down for quite some time. That means Bitcoin will have a gold moment, right? And it's not just going to double in 3 years, right? It's going to go, 10x in 3 years. It's going to blow your socks off because of the price suppression. And if you are lucky enough to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Vigilant and steadfast to buy Bitcoin on a consistent basis whilst they suppress the price for you and take possession of those Bitcoins, you will be heavily rewarded and you'll deserve those rewards. While other people will be saying, there's no fair. You bought Bitcoin cheap. Because you saw it and you suffered when prices were low for a long time. There it is. A new Bitcoin simulation suggests that the long-term investors may be overly concerned about the timing of their BTC purchases. Yeah, everybody tells me, should I buy it now? Should I buy now? Just dollar cost average, man. Just put $1,000 a week. In a detailed 10-year model, Bitcoin researcher Cementon tested how a hypothetical investor deploy 100K today might perform under 3 different entry points. 100K, that means he gets more than one Bitcoin. Jesus, think about that. The second you get one Bitcoin, that means some other millionaire is not getting that Bitcoin. And there's 66 million millionaires. Probably even more. Probably 80 million or something like that. They ain't getting a Bitcoin. Many of them are not getting a Bitcoin. Especially if you got it. Right? You play your cards right, you never have to sell that Bitcoin. And then cause the price to go up even higher. Even higher. Buying 94K price, buying 20% cheaper, buying 20% more expensive. The model then projects Bitcoin's price using a median, lower, or power law trend and assumes the investor withdrew 10% of their holdings, which, duh, don't do that. Each year in savings spending. Okay, so look at that. Look at this. This is a drawdown all the way to 36. Jesus. And look, it doesn't matter whether you got 10% more. What at today's price, 10%, 20%. You know, what is it? Today's price would be you got it 20% cheaper. It's 800,000. Got it 20%. Where's the yellow one? At today's price, and then of course more expensive. Who cares? Who cares? Yay! 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 Portfolio value minus 10% annual withdrawal. Jesus. 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 This is cray. Man. Yes. Well, the problem is, right, by 2036, if you ask AI how will it be evident that the US government is done, and anyone who's like lending money to paying for the US debt or buying US bonds is clearly like delusional. The AI says, yeah, I mean, there's just no chance that anybody will buy bonds. The US debt to $107 trillion, assuming they just following their current path with no additional spending based on just their budget alone. Really? Really? You really think that this is not going to end badly? So if you're like, Bitcoin's too expensive, well, that's okay. I have Satoshis for you. And you get 1,090 Satoshis. You could buy a few dollars of them. You don't have to buy $1,000 at a time if you don't have that. You can buy $10 at a time with Satoshis, man. This is beautiful because you get to see large numbers, right? You get to raise your confidence as you see large numbers grow, right? Check it out, satoshi.15.com, satoshi15.com. Links in the description below. Beautiful, beautiful product. Excellent. Okay. Almost feels like the cabal is trying to keep Bitcoin above 90K. Ooh. I like Bitcoin, but I do not like any of the derivatives created to play it or game it or mine it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that bullish or bearish? All I know is that you told me you like Bitcoin, so I guess that's bearish. So I don't know. Looks like we're gonna break down, right? I don't know. Because he's saying that the cabal is trying to keep the price above 90K, so you want to buy above around the 90K par, so you could watch price rise, only to get dipped on by Kramer's, people who are funding Kramer. Yeah, so there it is. Okay. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions for me? Please leave them. Make sure you leave a question mark at the end so that I could know there's a question. Oh my God. Enough with the what's it called? Meme coins, please. No meme coins. Yep. Bitcoin to hit 1 million. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here. Alrighty, there we go. BTC on sale, yep. Okay, there we go. There's a question there. I should write. Okay, just checking some questions. Yeah, now I'm just going to continue on with the show. just in, 95% of all Bitcoin bought in the last 155 days is now underwater. Higher than COVID, higher than FTX. Wow. Looks like the majority of people just bought at the end, man. Thinking, well, even I was thinking, just Bitcoin's got to rally. There's something crazy. Oh, excuse me. And I mean, everybody was thinking that. And that's why we all got wiped out on October 10th. Okay. BTC has big buyers orders stacked on Binance. Yeah, because the only way, okay. Come here. The only way for institutional players to buy Bitcoin is because you're selling it. That's the big secret. You need to sell it to them. That's the only way they can buy. And they have their orders ready so that just in case you do sell, they can take it. All righty, there we go. So the cabal, the big players, they know what time it is. They're buying. All right, make sure you guys hit the subscribe, hit the like button if you're liking this show. I know I'm having fun doing this. I hope you're enjoying it as well. And head over to Mr. M's podcast. Look at that growth. 100 subscribers since yesterday. This guy's moving fast, and he's got a ton of video backlogs of interviews from the Bitcoin Mina in Bitcoin Amsterdam. So it is going to be off the chain, all these videos. So make sure you check that out soon. Okay. Bitcoin dips 30%. People react. Extreme fear. Black Friday, 30% sale on new iPhones. People react. Take my money, please. This is why most people stay poor. They buy liabilities on sale and sell assets on fear. The exact opposite of how to build wealth. Yes, that's so true. So true. Nobody's around when Bitcoin's going down. Nobody. Okay, so let's see. But if you guys are around, I think you guys know what time it is. I'm sure you guys are buying.
Gold in many ways.
Let's see here. Was this playing? Hopefully it was not playing the whole time. Let's see here. Okay, let's see if the sound. Yep, there we go. I don't know. Was it playing the whole time in the background? I hope not. That would have sucked. But you guys
and
didn't
also,
say it.
I do believe the role of crypto, it's digitizing gold in many ways. Instead of investing in gold as a hedge against inflation or the devaluation of your currency, whatever country you're in, Bitcoin is an international asset. It's not based on any one currency. And so it can represent an asset that people can play as an alternative.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key thing there, right? It's an international asset. No matter where you go, you could have your Bitcoin and nobody knows you have it unless you tell them, right? And then there's it's so international that lots of countries are like, we should tell the Bitcoiners that they can come here and sell their Bitcoin and buy property and live the good life here. And we're not going to tax you. This is it. This is the truth about Bitcoin, right? And so it's up to you, right? I'm going to switch screens for a second. It's up to you to make the final choice and buy Bitcoin right now. Even if you just do a little bit, you need to get some Bitcoin because it's the asset that everyone will use. Why so? Why will it be the asset everyone will use? It's because you'll be able to transfer it to anyone instantly. You'll be able to travel with it without anybody deciding, hey, you know what, you can't travel with that much money. You'll be able to transfer it to the moon, to the Mars. You'll be able to even die with Bitcoin. You'll be able to die with your Bitcoin, and no one can stop you. There it is. That's how powerful this new asset is. So it only makes sense to stop procrastinating and buy some Bitcoin. Okay. This is the main reason why we aren't entering a bear market. Really? Really? Okay. Global liquidity is already at an all-time high. Yeah, that's true. And it's only set to increase. Yeah, that's true. More than 80% of the global economies are now in easing mode. Yeah, that's true. Cutting rates, loosening conditionings, and injecting liquidity back into their markets. Yeah, that's true. When global liquidity rises, risk assets follow. Yeah, that's true. And historically, crypto is the biggest beneficiary of the liquidity wave. Historically, that's true as well. Okay? So unless the trend reverses, which it doesn't look like it will, liquidity goes up, crypto goes up. Okay. Whilst I can agree to some extent this posting, as you could tell, because I was agreeing with a lot of the things he said, there's a problem, and let's talk about that for a second. Okay. I'm Mr. Money Printer, right? I like printing money, and I like giving it to my friends, and I like buying stuff, right? And buying control, and I like to maintain that control. The problem is, there's a problem right now. I'm a money printer, and it's Bitcoin, and I don't want it to succeed, but I know I can't stop it. So I know I can't stop it, but I can probably slow it down. So let me think about how I can slow it down. How can I slow it down? Well, people only buy when prices are going up. Maybe I just keep the price down. How do I do that? Well, I just create derivatives and have those people buy that. They can buy BlackRock. They can buy ETFs. They can buy at the bank, right? Banks set up for all that. They can buy at their stockbroker, right? And we make sure we incentivize those companies because we don't want to just go, hey, here's a bunch of money and do it this way. No. That'd be stupid. We incentivize. We set up the system so that it makes only sense for them to provide derivatives. We create the laws, right? So that, hey, you could hold on to the Bitcoin for their customers if you like. However, if you were to, borrow Bitcoins, lease them from somebody else, and then call it as you on your books, that's okay. And then you could sell those Bitcoins to the people. That's okay. Even though you don't actually have them. That's still okay. No laws have been broken. And this is how it gets done. How did they come up with all this? They did it with gold. So it's done. Okay? So the odds are, now it's not impossible, right? Because the Fed's in a box, right? And there are some people like Michael Saylor who understand they have to take possession of this stuff, right? The Fed is in a box and they have to print, right? The print or die, right? And the problem with that is that everybody knows that if they print, inflation's coming. And they're going to buy assets in order to protect themselves. It's going to be an interesting time.
We're still dealing with.
Let's see here. What is Chris Hopkinson saying? Bitcoin is going to, what, 250,000 soon? Okay.
And crypto is not immune to the macro. We're still dealing with issues from the tariffs. We're still dealing with a great degree of economic uncertainty. Just this year was a little lackluster, but overall, I'm still very optimistic in the next 12 months. I think we'll clear most of this downside the next 2 quarters, and we'll be back up to $250,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2026. And crypto is not.
I mean, it's not impossible, right? I mean, by end of 2026, could happen, right? Could, because I mean, they have to print, right? And if enough of y'all don't buy a derivative, they're screwed, right? So that's the issue, right? We don't know how many people, like I know more people are willing to buy a derivative than they are willing to buy the real asset. Why? Because they just don't want to hold it. They don't want to like lose it. They don't want to deal with the problems of holding their own keys. And yeah, I can't say I blame them, but this is what will cause the price to be suppressed. It is what it is. Right? So, if you're interested in buying some real Bitcoin, you can go to these top exchanges by heading over to x.dj15.com. Links in the description below. Right? I've created this website so you guys can actually see which exchanges best suit you. Okay? Okay, this is another one from the Milk Road. Okay. This is one of the best articles I've read about the crypto situation. Here's the biggest takeaway. There's 2 types of bear markets. Cyclical bear market, average down 84%, duration around 2.5 years, okay? Short-term bear market, average drop 36%, duration 2 to 3 months. We strongly believe we're currently in the short-term bear market. We're down 27% in the previous peak. Yes, I mean, yeah, you know what? That could be the case, right? Let's just see. Right? Let's just see. Bitcoin has no future. No future whatsoever. None. Zero, says Peter Schiff. Since its inception since he first heard about it, at least, at $7. Okay. Just so you know, he heard about it at $7. I remember because I remember driving and listening to Wall Street Unspun and hearing him talk about it and like got so excited. I remember exactly where I was. I was on Huron, Ontario Street. Right? It was a Dixie. Yeah, exactly. No, anyways, I guess I don't remember. And anyways, I was driving and I remember seeing the buildings and stuff like that. And I was like so excited. I was super, super excited. I thought for sure he'll be an advocate for this, but he just didn't get it. He still doesn't. Right? It's not a good medium of exchange for payments, but it is. To the extent that you want to use crypto, even Kathy Woods admits stablecoins are better. For now, they're better in today's environment, but because you couldn't actually buy stuff with stablecoins. You could buy stuff with Bitcoin, but anyways. If you also want to store value, tokenized gold, no, you don't want that. Wins hands down because it doesn't win hand down because it has the same problem as all gold certificates have. They're going to take away the gold and give you the certificates only. Alrighty. All right, so let's finish this off. Bitcoin sentiment is now substantially worse than it was at the lows of 2022 low. Oof. Yeesh. Bearishness. But the good news is that we're looking at, if you watch my show that I've done, regular show, which it's going to be posted soon, right? I will be explaining we're due for a bounce. How much of a bounce is also on the show, so make sure you go and watch that. It's really important. Okay, let's go for the Q&A for today. Okay, let's see here. XRP Proton. Stay away from XRP, man. Just don't do drugs, man. Don't do drugs. Hey. When are you gonna have your own meetup? I think there's a meetup scheduled for Bitcoin Mina, so make sure you check that out. It's in the school. I've written it down. It's in one of the environments there, one of the community posts. So yes, I do have some kids. What do you think about the prediction market? Yeah, the prediction market is fun to predict stuff on. I don't know if I've tried to use it, and it's just so badly coded that I just gave up and was like, whatever. No, I don't want to deal with it. It's just took me forever, and I lost a lot of cash during transfers and stuff like that. It was just like, no, thank you. Oops, sorry about that. It was like rebooting. Right? I was like, error. Let's see here. What price do you see us not going below this cycle bear market? The absolute bottom, in your opinion? The absolute hell's no bottom is 57K. Right? There's no way we're going below that. It's zero chance. Zero. Absolute zero. I don't know how you shorted the meme coins, but congratulations. Now as the monthly cam is close to the close is above 94K, we're good, right? No, we're not. Would have to close above 103 on a monthly. Ooh, how did I find Bitcoin for the first time? Well, as you know, you don't know, maybe. I've had a YouTube channel since 2008. And in that process of having a YouTube channel talking about gold and silver and how to protect your wealth with gold and silver, somebody pointed out, what about protecting your wealth with Bitcoin? And I said, scam! You can't solve the double spend problem. There's no way. There's just no way, right? And so I decided to research it, read through the source code, realized, oh, damn, this is going to work. And so I told people every once in a while, something comes along. Let me just tighten this up. Something comes along that makes poor people rich. This is one of them. Did they listen? No. No, they didn't. What about PayPay? Well, PayPay is one of those coins that's supposed to do well and did not. Let's see here. Any questions? Yeah, don't sell Bitcoin. HODL. That's why it's called the Daily HODL Show. HODL Bitcoin. Whatever happened to Doge going to $1 this cycle? Yeah, well, we didn't have any big pump with Bitcoin either. So without that, Doge gets nothing. Nothing. Gets sud. I expected Doge to go over $1 too. Did not. I get it, y'all. But do you think in the future they will take a Bitcoin, or what is too risky about? I don't know what? Okay. One, they can't take your Bitcoins, right? You could die with your Bitcoins because I've said that at the very beginning of the show. Very beginning of the show. You can die with your Bitcoin and no one could ever touch it. Right? So, your next question is, what are the risks? Right? Well, there's always risks, right? You're the risk, right? That you can't suffer through some torture, right? That's the risk number one, right? Just kidding about that, but anyways, yes. So the risk is that you make a mistake with your Bitcoins, right? The risk is an asteroid hits the planet and wipes us all out. The risk is, other nuclear war, I guess. That's another risk. Wipes us all out, but even a nuclear war would probably be all right because Bitcoin is up in satellites, right? So there it is, right? There's always risks. You just, are they worth planning for or dealing with? And when it comes to Bitcoin, no, they're not. There is the risk to the reward ratio, the outside risks. The risks are too small to not jump into Bitcoin all in. The only thing you've got is fear, right? And I think the real fear is not with Bitcoin something going wrong with Bitcoin, something you doing wrong. So that's what you should be afraid of. Who designed the markets? A lot of people did. Over time. That's how it works. Whenever it does touch 200K, that's when it does. When Bitcoin pumps, that's when we're going to get an altcoin pump. And pumps to new highs and goes beyond that. Let's see. I don't think there's any more questions. Let's see here. I think I had one favored. Okay. Can BTC achieve 100 trillion market cap in 12 years? Probably not in 12 years. Probably. But it's not impossible. Because the US dollar may not be around, may collapse. And so it could receive that $100 trillion market cap just as a collapsing currency, right? So I don't know if that's going to happen. When in 12 years? I just know that it's a possibility within 12 years, right? And yeah, so. But don't. You know what? Here's the thing. If you say 25 years, yeah, yeah, long before then. Yeah. Okay? That's it. So you're guaranteed 100x, right? By the time you retire. Right? Now, the question is not the 100x, right? Here's the thing. I want you guys to understand one thing. Let's say we do get the 100, you get the 100x. What is it really worth, right? And the question is not what you think it is worth today. The answer is not what you think it is worth today. Now you could say, well, wait a second here. So are you saying that Bitcoin at 10 million, I can't buy a $10 million home? No. I'm not saying that. What I am going to say is you could probably buy 10 of those $10 million homes. You're like, say what? Yeah, well, you see, when society goes through a hyperinflationary event, Most people get wiped out. Credit goes goes sky high. You can't afford to buy. You can't afford to mortgage and buy a house, and they'll stop doing mortgages on houses. So thus, what's going to happen is, right, all the assets that people went into debt for, stocks, bonds, whatever, it's mostly real estate, they will be super duper discounted. And all that wealth would go into Bitcoin. Okay? So there it is. So it could be well into, in today's dollars, into the $300 trillion range. Boom. And that's what real estate is right now. So there you go. Okay, I hope you learned something. I hope you take advantage of this knowledge and get some Bitcoin. Wow, we got 4,000 people on what's it called, X, watching. Thank you guys. And where is it? We have only 200 people on what's it called, YouTube. But hey, really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.